Hello everyone, thanks to the power of the internet, I get to talk with you. And today we have one of the coolest and most unique Vanguards I've seen in a while. This is from set 3, it's Sacrifice Glass. Now, what exactly does this Vanguard do? Well, at the beginning of your main phase, you the player get, when your opponent's unit is retired from rear or guarding, you energy charge 1. Meaning you can massively scale your energy, meaning Energy Blast 7, you don't even have to worry about that. But you also have an Energy Blast 4 on this Vanguard, which we get to. At the end of, the battle this attacked, a Vanguard, Energy Blast 4. Note how this isn't tied to your opponent's grade. Search your hand, deck, or drop for one Manifesting Great Horizon Grand Dogma. Ride it as stand and it gets plus 15k and dry minus 2. And if you search your deck, shuffle, if you wrote a card, meaning if you did decide to ride it as stand, which you have to, your opponent may draw a card. Which isn't actually a hindrance that you might think it is. Now, all I want to see is this turn into a giant woman. Oh wow, it did. Now what does this do? When this card is bound, other than by the ability of a card with the same card name as this card, put it into drop. I don't really think there's another way to bind this card outside of its own effect, but if something in the future comes, it just goes to the drop instead. Why? At the end of the battle this attacked, choose one of your opponent's rear guard and retire it. If your bind zone has one or more cards with the same card name as this unit, choose one of your opponent's rear guard and retire it. Don't forget that will energy charge you 1, meaning you have paid 1/4 of your, Energy Blast 4 from Sacrifice Glass, because you, the player, got the ability to do that. Now, if they decided to guard, well, you're already halfway there. And you get another one, because if you have 2 or more, this is only really late game, you get another retire. But you also get to stand this unit. Sadly, that ability is only once per turn. It would be so broken because it restarted itself, meaning you could retire basically your opponent's whole board. I get why. I get why that's stopped. But it's still, you've almost, in one foul swoop, energy blasted 4 and then charged 3. Its last ability is at the end of your turn, if your bind zone has 1 or less, you bind this instead of having it go back into soul, and you re-ride Sacrifice Glass from soul as rest. And if you wrote a card, meaning you've gone back to rest because you have to, it binds it. Simple as that. So you swing with it 1 time, that's your 1, so when it attacks, shoot, if your bind zone has 1 or more, then you get the retire. Bind it at the end of the turn, do that again. Now you have 2. Pretty cool. Alright, now continuing the ride line. When this unit is rode upon by Sacrifice Glass, Soul Blast 1, search your deck for 1 Sweet Bait, the main order of this card deck. Put it in your hand, shuffle your deck. When this unit is placed on rear, choose a grade 3 with Grand Dogma, the giant woman. From your damage zone, put it in hand, but you have to replace it into a card from your hand into the damage. What's really fun about this is you can pay counterblast abilities and, take it from, damage and get a free counter charge. One of the cutest grade 1s and grade 0s, warning. At the beginning of your ride phase, choose up to 1, that one, the grade 2, and you can ride it as stand. If you rode, you and your opponent draw a card and cannot ride. Honestly, I love this because it's once again utilizing the ride line and encouraging the one they have foot, which doesn't have so much creativity, but I really like abilities that mess with the ride line. It feels more interactive than it exists. I don't miss a ride. and the world's greatest grade 0. Look at that thing, it's so cute. Alright, going to main deck though, obviously you want all your Persona rides, and now every single chance you get to see Giant Woman. Because let's look at the order. Play with Counterblast 1, choose one of the following depending on which Vanguard you have. If you have Sacrifice Class, your opponent gets all your rear guards and cards in drop, lose their continuous and auto, and cannot move from your rear guard to guard, meaning you've turned off intercept, which is technically an ability. They could have just said loses all abilities. So your opponent chooses then 3 cards from their drop and calls them to rear, and then you draw a card for every 3 of yours and your opponent's rear guard. So at most you can draw up to 2 when 6 are present. But if you really note, this actually really synergizes, because if you have 2 or more, Grand Dogma bonds, you get rid of 2 of them, meaning they only really called 1. None of their on plays because their continuous and autos are turned off. So it's really just free value for you. And because your opponent must call 3 units, if they have a full board, or even, 3 already there, they have to retire something themselves, which I think is really funny. Though on the rare chance you are on Grand Dogma, if you were not placed during the ride phase, you activate Persona Ride and choose any card with different grades other than a heal and an over from your drop, throw them back to the deck and you shuffle. So this is basically Luke here putting a 0, 1, 2, and a 3 back into your deck. If this ran a grade 4, that would be a valid target too. Other things, draw a card, go draw a card, go draw a card. And I guess call something from Soul, which is really just utilizing Sheffy over here to bring you a Grand Dogma from damage. This does the same thing, except it also soul charges you one, which I guess can be cool. But main thing, choose one of your opponent's grade 2 rear guards and retire it. Hey, you've just energy charged. Because remember, at the beginning of your main phase you get that. Or, you can call Sheffy back for a Grand Dogma. You're always going to see one. Now this thing is pretty cool. Musy, front row rear. When your grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Sacrifice and its card name attacks, retire something on your opponent's rear guard. Oh no, another energy charge for you? But also when your grade 3 or greater Dogma attacks, this gets plus 10k. Meaning for free, in the front row, if you have 2 of these things, you have a 2k attacker, and you also retire 2. Awesome. One thing though, this is actually a 30k attacker if you have 2 or more Grand Dogma, because it can stand itself, and this is a continuous, it's an auto, so every time that condition is cleared, you stand. Attack again. More power. You don't really need to run fronts for that reason. Lady Folklore. When it's placed on rear, you got energy charge 1. Did you already know this deck energy charges like mad? You do now. And at the end of the battle, this unit boost. If you had energy blasted 3 or more for your card's ability, retire this and draw a card. So, hey, not too bad. You gotta replenish somehow, get more card advantage than your opponent. And Midoriya, once per turn, Soul Blast and discard a card from hand, choose a Sweet Bait, the order from drop, and it can be played from drop, and then it would be put on the bottom of the deck after it's used. So it's basically those order cyclers, but specifically for, Sweet Bait. And at the end of your turn, Energy Blast 5 and draw a card. Which can be cool, because if you're overflowing with energy, I wonder why, any reason possible, you draw a card. Now, triggers, obviously my favorite OTs in here, Dark States. Draw cards to draw cards. because you want to see Grand Dogma in your hand as much as humanly possible. Crits because you technically do have a restanding Vanguard who can swing 3 times. And my favorite heal trigger. So let's save this, you know. Giant woman. Woman. Okay, goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Alright, victory condition achieved. Do a little quick deck shuffle. Alright, we're going first, draw a card. I'm gonna keep this, honestly, so I think the best thing to do is get rid of draw, ride deck, ride, my opponent's turn, you know, we take 1, oof, Argo, draw 1, ugh, OT, of course, yeah, we don't have a sweet bait, so this thing's, oh, wait a minute, nope, 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 this thing's at the beginning of your ride phase. My grade 2 is chosen. I will ride it, and both me and my opponent will draw a card. See, I don't have to get rid of anything. Oh, look, sweet bait, meaning I can now get rid of that. Play, you know, the grade 1 I wanted to discard, and get my sacrifice class basically for free. But honestly, we don't want to do anything else, so just swing. PG, cool. Turn end. Opponent's turn. I normally take 3 if I'm not playing that defensive of a deck. Un, dos. Trays, oof. Alright. Now we are going to get rid of sacrifice, because hey, we didn't have one. And then we will Soul Blast 1 and search up to 1 sweet bait, reveal it, put it in hand. So we're fueling our next turn too. So, ride deck. Soul Blast 1. Right on the top of the deck. Awesome. Deck shuffle. Alright, so we do have energy 3. But hey. Play this. Sure. Because I want to keep the grade 2 just in case a Dogmon does end up in damage somehow, if I live. I think the best thing to do, honestly, is drop that. Oh, look. Choose the sweet bait from drop. I can now use it. No, no, no. I just want to look in here. So this now goes to the bottom of the deck, because I counterblast 1. And now my opponent has to call up to 3. I don't think they'll have that many in drop, but hey, I'm at least filling their field if they have decided to draw. But they have to, because discard for ride, so I'm at least guaranteed 2, because grade 1, grade 2. If they guard it, I get the whole 3, so I've helped them out a little bit. I do have the energy, and this is placed from rear. Oop. Now I'm at 7. I can draw a card, but why would I do that? Alright, we're gonna Soul Charge 1. I'm too curious. Okay, that's not too bad. That gets +5. I don't really need to retire anything, but I will, just so I can energy another one. So now we're going to move to battle. Swing with the boy. Hopefully they don't guard. They're probably at, 1. So, first check. Second check. Awesome. But now, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, look, I can choose from anywhere. Consistency. Because deck thinning is winning. We ride plus power 15. Of course, we retired. Swing again. Actually, we're going to swing here first. They're at 3. Swing again. Sure, they can go to 4. A few things going to go off. She is going to bind herself. There we go. Because I didn't have anything else with her name in bind, yada yada yada, I didn't get to retire anything. She's going to retire. I will draw a card. Alright. Opponent's turn. I will take 1 damage to see if I get a defensive, make guarding a little bit easier. If it's from a rare guard, hopefully. Guard. Oh, I don't want to discard that. We can do one her, because we can do it from drop, which is awesome. And I'll say that's all their attack. Stand and draw. Obviously, we're going for the Persona ride. Call. Call. And if you notice, this thing is only a once per turn, so I could do it again. But I don't have one in drop, so we're gonna manually having to play this, sadly. So now they have to call things, and at this point, because they did guard, or because I have retired things, they now have 3. This thing retires another one, so I get energy charge. How lovely. Alright, now let's attack. Of course, swing with the Vanguard, because there's no reason to swing with anything else. Hold on, battle phase. First check. Second check. Okay, that's my luck. Energy blast. Go from drop. Ride. We're going to swing again because this thing will now get power plus 10. Hey, look, something is retired. Energy charge. Pretty cool. Okay. Sadly, I don't have another one in bind, but at the end of this turn, I will. Sadly, Grand Dogma is clouding my hand. Now, swing again. Swing. End of turn. Goes away. Draw a card. I will energy blast 5 for this thing. Draw a card. Hey, look. Ride. Bind. Now I got 2 perfect cards and an overtrigger, so hopefully, if this turn didn't end them, we're going to just over and PGs, dropping those. Argo. Because I just want to show the big thing. Obviously, nothing happened. When something is retired, I will energy charge. So hopefully, you know, they're at 5, meaning they have to guard this, which gets me my energy 4. Too funny. I'll give that power. I will heal 1 because we're both at 5. Second check. Cool. Doesn't matter because I now have energy 4, which is all I ever needed. Ride this with plus 15. Also, when you're grade 3, sacrifice attacks. I retired something anyway, so I was guaranteed. Sorry, I forget the new card sometimes. Her effect, you know, nothing really happens. They can guard her if they want to. 2 things are retired because there's now 2 in the bind. Oh look, I'm already at energy charge 3. Hey, guess what? This gets plus 10. She restands because I now have 2. You're at 5, okay, hope you can survive another 18. Hey look, this thing gets power. 28 again. 30. And that should end them. There is only one thing you should be aware of. I am now at this point. My bind has more. It has 2. So I cannot choose a sacrifice class from Soul and ride it as stand to bind her. So I'm now stuck here. Meaning my opponent knows all my last Persona ride is in drop. Which sucks, but hopefully this was the turn that ended it all. But honestly, this is such a weird and pretty fun deck, and I can't wait to play it. Though this is also the same set that Lukier comes in, so my heart is going to be very divided with Dark State Children. But if you have made it through my massive ramblings, thank you for watching and getting this far. See you in the next video.